Anyway, so we're back. Hooray! If you're watching YouTube, we're now here again. Who would like to do the recap of what's gone on during this last hour?
I can do it.
Okie dokie.
So, at the start of the session, we were in the capital city of the region, Veer. We had been looking for someone to translate some writings that we found in our adventures in the Smuggler's Cave. We were unable to find anybody in that city that could surreptitiously translate our documents. However, Tabarin had a lead in a little town north of the, 12, 15 miles north of the city. So we hired some horses and headed off to that city. When we arrived, a number of us unceremoniously fell off of our horses because we're terrible riders. Then we went to the inn. Tabarin tried to ask about his lead, his contact, and was immediately shushed. Harbeck went across to the brewer to share his wisdom and got a feeling that something weird is going on. The brewer is making crappy beer for no good reason and just feeling kind of a little shady. Brig got a note delivered to him with his food that said that he should head to the stables at midnight and no other information. Anyway, so that we have a general feeling that something weird is going on in this town. That evening, we were all going to bed and going about our assorted things. Brig has snuck off to the stables an hour ahead of his meeting so he can try to spot whoever is coming in and gain the upper hand should it be an unpleasant encounter. And Tabarin has had a run-in with the proprietor of the inn who had shushed him about his contact. She did some shape-changing magic and then wiped his memory or something. Some magical mojo that was unhappy in general. And that was where we took our break.
We certainly did. So Tabarin is trying to get a grasp on why he's here. You effectively, mechanically, you have no recollection of your target, your contact. You have no recollection of the innkeeper, or what she looks like, or what just happened in the room. That's basically what's just happened. And we'll come back to the aftermath of that in a few minutes. Brig, you're outside. Can I get a perception check from you, please?
Yes, but I just dipped another Oreo in milk, so I'm going to have to... I'm really not good at perceiving things.
Holy cow.
That's pretty awful. That's really bad. I'm pretty sure somebody could hit you on the head and you wouldn't... Oh, dear.
Did he fall asleep?
Oh, dear. What?
He fell asleep.
He's super distracted by all these weird thoughts about cookies from another universe.
Yeah.
He's hiding really well, but
yeah, I didn't think about
hid in a box that he
right.
can't
I didn't
actually
think
see
so much about getting a good view of the stables when I picked my hiding spot. So I'm hiding in some little corner with a bunch of stuff in front of me, and I can't actually see.
He's got his head buried in the sand.
I am so well hidden.
So well hidden. So well hidden, in fact, that you are completely shocked and taken aback when a small curved dagger is pressed against your throat. And a small hand covers your mouth. And you hear the words, "Don't move."
I don't move.
It's probably a wise decision.
I know what to do. I got it.
Hands behind your back, please.
I comply.
Okay. A short while later, you find your hands bound, which is strange because you can only sense one person in your general presence, and they have one, hand wrapped around your arms, and the other one is pressing a dagger to your throat, but your hands are now tied by rope.
Magic rope!
Yeah, I could do that.
You do that. And after your hands have been bound, sack is placed over your head, and you're sat on the ground, unceremoniously.
I really don't
The-
like this.
I imagine not. Why are you in town?
I don't think you understand. I really don't like this.
I'm going to ask again. Why are you in town?
I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this.
And Brieg blacks out.
We may have to deal with some murders in the morning.
I hope the wolf's hungry.
Okay.
All of this, and Harbeck's just snoring, like sprawled out.
A
Big,
belly
cushy
full of
blankets.
delicious ale.
But Din decided to sleep in the bed tonight. It's an adventure.
Wow.
I wonder how she likes
What's-
it.
What's going on?
It's cold outside.
Can I get perception checks from everybody, please? Llama, you will have disadvantage on this roll.
Because I can't hear them over my snoring.
Yeah, that and the belly full of ale.
Apparently, I'm enjoying the bed.
Okay. It's morning time.
Oh, perception checks that go "it's morning time" afterward are never good.
That's the roll a spot check. You don't see anything. Okay. It's the worst thing about being a dungeon master is when you get people to roll those spots and searches and they don't see anything, and it's like, well, now you know there's something there, but all right. It's morning time. You all rouse. Din probably earliest, followed by Rogar, so he can do his morning prayers. Tabern, I don't know how much sleep he would have got. It would have been broken at the best because you're struggling a little bit with what's going on. Actually, we should probably resolve that
Yeah.
because you did feel quite foggy after your encounter.
And I was down in the main portion
No,
of the
you were
inn? Or
you were
my
in your room. Yeah.
I don't know how I got there.
Nope. You know it's your room.
Can and in my head, I ask the question in hopes that I get a response back. Where am I?
Silence.
Do I know that? I know that my other like friends are with me at the inn, though.
Yes.
Or no. Yes.
Yes.
I open my door, look down the hall.
Empty inn hall. Nothing exciting. The doors to all four of your companions' rooms are shut. You can hear Harbeck snoring loudly in the background.
Um. How much did I drink?
The perfect excuse.
Not a lot by my standards.
You'll just be getting some sleep then, I guess?
I don't know that I'll be getting sleep, but I don't he doesn't know what else to do other than wait till morning.
Okay. So it's morning time, and I imagine as you wake up, you'll all filter downstairs for some breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Did I also wake up in my bed?
No, you haven't
Okay.
woken up. So, Din's downstairs and probably sitting maybe outside or under a tree or something, playing a flute or eating breakfast. I'm sure she'll be doing something along those lines. Breakfast, okay. Then Rogar will come down after performing his morning prayers. Tabron will be joining them shortly afterwards, I imagine.
I approach Rogar. Where are we? Did I drink a lot last night?
I don't remember you drinking a particularly large amount. Are you okay?
Where are we?
We're north of Veer, in a small town where you brought us to translate the books we found.
Did we get them translated?
No. Does this feel as weird to my character as it should?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's get I think
yeah.
we should bring everybody in on this conversation.
It's probably time for
Everybody
Harbeck to
who's
stumble down
available.
the stairs.
Yeah, Harbeck does
And
stumble down the stairs.
Regret.
Can I get a dexterity check?
Oh no. And regret being trapped in human lands where can I do the honors?
Yes, you can.
Harbeck feels his way out of his room, cursing himself for only having had human ale for weeks. And forgetting, and just like being so upset that he's actually hungover. He hasn't been hungover since he was 9. Like, what? Come on. And he's so upset that he's feeling along the wall for support and just misses the fact that there was a stair at the first stair. Being roughly as wide as he is tall, he rolls nicely. If you know, the bits of elbows and knees that clatter about the stairs on his way down do get in the way. And unfortunately for Harbeck, picks up a lot of momentum, and when the stairs turn a corner, the railing doesn't survive the crash. And so a pile of splintered wood and elbows and knees and dwarf and beard and shame lands in the common room of the inn.
Quite loudly and abruptly, in the middle of your conversation.
Apologize.
Were you attacked?
Only by my own hubris.
What's a hubris? Do I need to kill it?
Nay, look, I need 2 fried eggs, a pound of bacon, and a pint, and then I can tell you about hubris. But for now, my head and my splinters.
Innkeeper, I need 2 eggs to kill a hubris.
The innkeeper looks at you strangely and then shakes her head and says, "Coming right up, love," and walks back to the kitchen. Okay, so
Where's Brig?
He's small. Maybe he's under a table.
Oh, I hope he's not under a dwarf. Harbeck springs to his feet.
you are not lying on a brig.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah. Where is Brig? That's a great question.
Well,
Maybe he's still sleeping?
as I stumble to the table and fall into a chair, I meant to sleep less soundly last night. There's something strange going on in this town. The brewer was all sorts of nervous.
I still don't know what town we're in.
We're in the town you brought us to. The one with the guy who can read the scrolls.
The
All we know about him is that he lives here and he can read scrolls.
And you're saying I brought you here?
It was your idea.
I rode a
Technically,
horse
the horse
for hours.
Do I recall the horse riding?
No,
Nah. You don't.
dude, your memory
I've
is
never
like
seen you ride a horse.
Right.
We're in Vier, aren't we?
No.
Look around you. Is this the inn we stay at Veer?
it's not.
No.
Clearly not.
We're not in
What are
Veer.
we doing here?
You brought
Tavern.
us to get the
Yeah.
to get the things translated.
I can't remember. Did Tavern ever disclose the name of the guy that we were looking for in the presence of the party?
If we were listening, he said it pretty loudly in the inn, and she slammed the mug down. I don't know how many of us were standing there. But
I think
noticed.
after that, in the conversation after that, he did disclose it. So you guys do know the name of the person that you're looking for.
Yeah, I did in the conversation after
Yeah.
disclose it.
Yeah, you didn't.
You brought us here to talk to an elder Varen. He was going to translate the scrolls. I'll pull out the books and stuff and say,
Did-
these. We wanted to get these translated.
Can I get a perception check from the 4 party members who are currently in the inn?
I need sunglasses to perceive anything.
Oh dear.
Don't worry, I got this.
Din's on top of it.
Din's on the case. The problem is that in character, Din has no concept of human interaction, which is going to make this an interesting one. Din, at the name Elder Varen, patron who is nursing a mug of ale at 8 in the morning. Which, it doesn't, like...
Which
The funny thing
happened.
is, right, a lot of this is going to mean a lot to the rest of the party, but to Din, probably not. Anyway, he's nursing a mug of ale at 8 in the morning.
Just like Harbeck.
Just like Harbeck is, yeah, so, it's not strange at all.
Right.
And when the name Elder Varen was said, he raised his head and looked towards the table, scanning, looking at each of you, almost as if he was trying to memorize who you were, and then quickly glances down when he notices you looking in his direction. Now, how Din handles that interaction, I don't know. A normal person would understand, but Din...
Normal
Harbeck.
is not a good
Harbeck.
descriptor for Din.
Harbeck,
Yeah.
I think we need to try science.
Can we try science quietly?
No, we have to say the name loudly again.
You okay? Harbeck plugs his ears. Go about it, girl.
I don't... Elder Varen!
The inn goes quiet. Like, this, you don't even need a perception check. Everybody who's there. The inn goes almost dead silent for, the tiniest amount of time. Like, people are just shocked and stop what they're doing, but quickly return back to what they were doing. It's strange. They all reacted to that name, almost like a single entity. It was hive-mindish. But, they're not acting like a hive. It was just, in that respect, it was, they all almost simultaneously just stopped, shocked, and then continued what they were doing a brief moment later.
It appears everybody in the room but us knows who he is. Would somebody just tell us what's going on? Where are my eggs? And my bacon? And my
Where's
pint?
Breg? I'm gonna go look for Breg. I head upstairs.
Okay. You look in his room. All of his things are gone. And he is not there.
I immediately head downstairs, and quietly at the table, Brake's gone, and so is all of his stuff. We need to find him.
I don't know that this is what's going to happen, but I kind of hope that you head out to the stables, and it's like that scene in Heroes during the first season when the lady like kills the people that come to extort her, and there's just like body parts all over the place and somebody hanging from the. It's just gonna be like covered in gore. I'm really excited.
Spoilers, man. Jeez.
Any ideas where to start? I don't even know where we're at, other than an inn in some town that I brought you to.
It's not a big town. The four of us could probably walk every street in it in 10 minutes.
Well, let's check first off to see if his horse is here. Because if his horse is gone... Oh wait, he rode with you. He can't ride a horse. Never mind. Pointless to check horses. You wouldn't go there first.
My eggs. I can't go until I have my eggs. But I'd like to search for the lad. As soon as I have my eggs.
Never saw. Now comes the fun part. Lord Silverstar finds himself walking around in a strange town, walking past the front door of an inn, in fact. He kind of recognizes the inn, but has no recollection of how he got there or why he is there, and something is off. He can tell that something is off. He doesn't have any memory of the last 9 or so hours.
Is he clean? He's so standing outside the door of this inn. He kind of looks down at himself to make sure that he's presentable before he steps into the inn. What does he discover?
He's as immaculate as Brieg ever is.
Okay, then he gives another glance around and then strides into the inn.
As you go to walk in the inn, you notice all of your worldly possessions, including even the small bag of gems, just sitting in a pile next to the door.
Okay. Prior to striding into the inn, 1 foot raised and hand positioned to push open the door to the inn, stops, goes and gathers up his things, puts them all in their appropriate pouches and sacks and whatever, and then, kind of gets himself all ready and strides into the inn.
You guys see Brieg confidently walk in the front door with
Brieg-
all of his possessions on him.
It's not Brieg. What
Good
was his
morning!
name?
Breakfast, if you would.
Aye, breakfast. Oh, not so loud, Harbeck.
Oh, well, it's you. Excellent. Could you perhaps tell me where we are?
Why doesn't anybody know where we are?
Serving wench comes over and delivers Harbeck's eggs and bacon.
Oh,
And beer.
So Silverstar immediately, while Harbeck is still gathering himself from his hangover, reaches over and grabs the plate and pulls it in front of him. Well, that was prompt service.
lad, you don't understand how badly I need those eggs. Harbeck reaches over and grabs a fistful of fried egg, drops it in his pint, and chugs the entire thing. Now, we can share the bacon.
No, I have actually lost my appetite. Thank you.
And he pushes the plate back to Harbeck, who now has all of his breakfast. Well played, Harbeck. Well played.
Din is going to get up and go check outside the door of the inn just to make sure we are still in the town that we arrived in last night.
That was
Yeah,
the
didn't-
first time you've slept in a bed, and
I know. Weird things might have happened. I don't know. Nobody knows where we are.
Yeah, you're in
Lord.
the same town. It's definitely Kanesh.
Looks the same.
We're in Kanesh. We've come to get these documents translated. Have you had a look at these?
yeah, we looked at those in the air.
I was referring to Lord Silverstar here. Have you
Yes,
seen?
I do recall these. I was able to deduce what languages they were written in, but unfortunately they're languages with which I'm not familiar.
Fair enough. Were you looking for the translator last night? We noticed that you weren't in your bed.
I don't actually know what happened last night. I'm embarrassed to say I don't have a headache, however, so I don't suspect it was drink. I have no idea. I'm
Did you
baffled.
sleep under a tree?
I'm not sure that I slept at all.
Shall we retrace your steps?
It will be a short trip. As far back as my memory goes, I started in the street outside the inn, and then I came into the inn.
Do you know if my friend Brig remembers anything?
The gnome.
Aye, that lad.
I haven't seen him.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Well, I mean, not
Also-
recently. I mean, I've seen him, but
Certainly, as have we all.
How did you
Okay.
get into the street?
I'm not sure. Perhaps magic is involved in some way or another. Not the rope.
Is Silverstar in on this joke?
Silverstar was the one who tried to explain why.
Yeah, he gave Din like a 30-minute lecture on the nature of magic, trying to explain the rope. And at the end, she was like, "Yeah, so that's what I said. The rope is magic." Just did not work at all.
Did not work at all.
We need,
I imagine that
so
we need to discover what your exploits were last night before anyone else does.
we
But-
we came here.
Seems prudent.
When did we get here?
Would you?
How long have we been in town?
Ooh, should someone tell Lord Silverstar about the science?
Lord Silverstar, before we talk about the science, would you check your pockets for me?
Certainly, I actually, oddly enough, found all of my worldly possessions in a pile outside. I don't think there's anything out of place, and I'll run through my pockets really quick and make sure.
No, nothing's out of place. Nothing's missing.
Is there anything extra?
No additions?
Yeah,
Anything
any
for the
bonus
wolf,
body parts?
maybe?
No, nothing extra.
All right. Well, I was hoping for a clue.
When did we come to this town? What were we coming here for? And that
Did
has
you
to
turn
be...
into Lord Silverstar too?
No. I'm
Are
still...
you sure?
I don't know anything anymore. I don't even know why we're here. Other
We
than...
came yesterday on the horses.
So everybody is confused and
something's
eating breakfast.
messed with my memory, if that's true.
Well, at this point, everyone in town knows that we're here for someone they're all afraid of, and we don't know. Two of us don't have a clue what's going on, and you were the two that brought us here, because it was your investigation that brought us to this town to continue your investigation. So,
let's find this guy.
or at least let's track Lord Silverstar's footsteps back to wherever he was last night.
The guy should be
Worth
easy
a
to
try.
find. Everyone here knows who he is.
So what is the party going to do? We got a few sort of suggestions. Look for Lord Velen, or Elder Velen, rather. try and retrace Lord Silverstar's steps?
Let's. He said it would be a short thing to track. We can walk outside and see if we can
Find any dead things?
hopefully not.
It does seem that finding out where I was last night may be prudent. I have, in the past, had moments where I lost my sense of things, and I've often found difficult circumstances that followed.
Well, let's see if we can't just find your sense of things. Come on. I've had my bacon. I'll soldier through the headache. I imagine it's a lot brighter outside than it is inside.
Yeah, it is.
I rethink whether I want to soldier through the headache. Is there anywhere dark we could search? No, just... Why? How did you surface
stable is
dwellers
dark.
invent beer with the sun so bright? That thing. Harbeck wanders off into the town circle area.
Okay.
It's brighter
as,
there.
As you wander off, Lord Silverstar, you notice that he's traveling in the wrong direction.
Not that way.
Well, great. I'm going to close my eyes. Just take my hand and leave. When I need to open them, you tell me.
Din, you are a ranger and therefore have the ability to track. What an awfully
That would be
handy
a
survival check.
skill, I would bet.
Yes, it would. And
And I did not do a good job, but I have a wolf.
you do.
Who also smells
Is anybody
things
else
really good.
anybody else trained in survival?
I think.
I am.
No.
Surprisingly
You are.
enough.
Oh, wow.
Actually, I am also trained in survival.
Okay. Well, Lord Silverstar may be able to track his own footprints. Can I get anybody who's trained in survival is welcome to roll a survival check here? Silverstar is really determined to find out what happened last night, and quickly picks up his own trail. Funnily enough, oh well, I came from this direction, and points at the footprints on the ground. And the footprints do continue back past where you remember first standing. And they're very easy to track. The ground is soft and loamy, and it's very easy for you to follow those footprints back in the direction they came, towards the stables.
Well, it appears I came from that direction. The stables, perhaps?
That's where the horses are.
Indeed.
Correct.
That's very true. So we're heading towards the stables?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You walk towards the stables, and, open the stable doors, head inside, all of your horses are there, nothing seems to be particularly strange. Can I get a perception check from everybody, please?
If it's on the ground, I'll see it, because I'm not looking at the sun.
It's darker inside, the stables are covered.
Oh, good.
Which makes sense, being that you rolled the highest. You're like,
I'm
I
so
can finally
relieved
see."
to be able to look at not my feet.
Okay, so Tabron and Harbeck, you both realize two things. The first thing you realize is the stable boy, who has been an eternal presence in the stable since you reached town, it was almost like he'd slept in there, is missing. He's not tending to the horses, he wasn't outside on the road, there's nothing to suggest that he should have left, but he's not there. There is also a large pile of straw where there wasn't a large pile of straw last time you were in here.
I go look for a needle in the haystack.
Okay. Investigation roll, please.
Oh. I was expecting to find something much more obvious, but I guess it really is a needle.
12 will do the job. Okay, so you sort of sift through the hay. There's nothing in there, nothing physical, no limbs or ears or...
Which is exactly what I'm looking for. Like, what are we going to feed to the wolf?
But you're like, there's got to be, right? He blacked out. He had to have horribly murdered somebody, and he came from this direction.
We are far
so you
too
keep
comfortable with this for how long we've known
looking.
each other.
You keep looking and you keep digging through the straw, and when you get to the bottom and you still haven't found anything, you sort of keep digging, like scraping at the mud, and you realize that your hands are covered in blood.
Lord Silverstar, I think you
Yes?
were here. I'll show him the blood.
Well, I certainly don't think that I would have brutally murdered anyone in the stable.
Maybe you're bleeding.
I feel fine.
Well,
Actually, on second thoughts, Silver Star, you do notice a sharp pain in the small of your back. It's not like a sharp pain, it's a dull pain. You thought maybe you just slept crooked, you know, being that you were out all night, but there's definitely pain there. Now that Din's pointed it out, it's...
Actually, there is something. Am I bleeding? Could you? It's on my back. Could you look?
And as he turns around
If I
and lifts
don't
his
have to
tunic...
roll a perception check, then yes, I could probably look at that for you.
He turns around and lifts his tunic, and when he does, you see a large scar, like a very large scar, being that he's a gnome. It covers... It's almost like if somebody had tried to remove his appendix through his back. It's a lot wider than a dagger. It looks like somebody, if it was a battle scar, somebody inserted a dagger and then cut almost all the way through the side of him.
ow.
Were you attacked?
Does the color match? I'm going to smell the blood.
It appears that perhaps I
The wound is fully healed. The wound is fully healed. Like it looks old. Like the scar looks old.
When were you attacked?
I don't know. It does. It is sore.
Taste this. Is that yours?
Do you know what your blood tastes like?
Aye.
It's irony.
You're talking to a dwarf who likes to headbutt walls. Yes, he knows what his blood tastes like.
Is it really all that different from anyone else's blood?
Harbik's blood tastes like dwarven ale, so...
I haven't tasted a lot of other people's blood, I
Not to
suppose.
mention that that's what you have on your hands is also mixed with mud and horse feces. Not about to taste it.
That doesn't taste like my blood. You know, we've got a whole suite of chemical sensors in the mouth. They're very useful when you don't have a laboratory.
Did you pick up the horse dung?
There was a hint of that. I separated it out from the other flavours.
I honestly have no idea.
Oh, we could cut you open and you could taste what your blood tastes like, and then we could taste this blood and see if it's the same.
I really don't think that tasting the blood is the correct answer to this question.
Perhaps we should continue the search.
Now there is a sensible suggestion. Thank you.
Can I get a further investigation roll from everybody as you continue to look around the stables, please? So Brig and Din are both fascinated by this turn of events and continue looking. Din finds a rope that has been cut in half by a very sharp blade. It's like a magic rope, like yours. And Brig, you find a Hessian sack that looks out of place. It's about the perfect size to place over a gnome's head.
Nothing in the sack?
No gnome heads?
No gnome heads, which is a good thing. You do find a few stray human hairs. Well, when I say human,
Humanoid.
they strangely match the color of your own hair.
A cut rope and a sack that appears to have head hair in it. It looks like someone was bound and blindfolded.
And they got away.
Does Wolf track things?
Yes?
Well, perhaps if Wolf could pick up a scent that's not Lord Silverstar's on the bag, we'd have a lead.
Okay.
You're going to see if Wolf can track for you?
Yeah, I'm gonna hand Wolf that bag.
Okay. And Wolf sniffs the bag and starts sniffing around the ground. I get a survival check from you, please.
Yes. From me or from Wolf?
I think Wolf gets advantage if it has to do with smell, if he's tracking by
Yes.
smell.
That is correct. That didn't work. Oh, I've got 2 19s.
I was going to say, you rolled 219, so either way the result is the same.
Is your bonus to survival is really only 1? Or is that the Wolf's?
That's the Wolf's. He only has a 1 wisdom.
Okay.
Isn't he trained in survival? As a wolf?
He just has advantage on perception, hearing, or smell.
Okay. I'm sure Eversoul's going to look that up. At any rate, the wolf empathically sort of, you feel that the wolf has picked up the trail.
Oh, he's got something.
Oh, back into the sun.
And he takes off out the back door of the stables.
You could put this bag over your head.
No, that's a fine idea. Put the bag over my head and grab Din's shoulder.
Okay. Llama is so
Blind leading the blind.
Well, the figurative leading the literal is kind of okay.
That's okay. It sort of works out.
Yeah, the Wolf is trained in perception, but not survival. Perception
Okay.
and stealth are the Wolf's skills.
No worries. So you head out the back door, and the trail continues around. So I'm just looking at the map here. The trail continues to the north, and up past the back of the inn. The wolf looks a little bit confused by the inn's back door, sort of sniffing at the back door of the inn and pawing at it, and then sniffing to the north, and eventually decides to travel north. And when it gets to the road to the north, so the one heading east out of town, you get the sense, Din, that the path continues in that direction.
I think we're going this way.
But you also know that at some point, whoever else was in the stables with Brieg had also come and gone from the back door of the inn.
So there was a fight in the stables,
Yes. Between 2 people from the inn.
and neither of the people are horribly maimed and dead in the stables.
Nope.
Perhaps
I start feeling my back and wondering if I'm bleeding anywhere or any
People
new
can-
scars.
people can cut the memory right out of your back. Turns out.
Nothing you see or feel would indicate that you had been wounded in any way, Tavern.
Babs, will you say that again? That was super, connection lost.
Yeah, very garbled. Oh,
It wasn't any better. Let's wait a second.
I think
Try it
I picked
again.
up to the east out of that.
yeah, something to that effect.
Is it possible that the blood we found in the stable belonged to the stable boy? I assume there was a stable boy.
he'd be a likely candidate, I imagine. If it's not yours, then the stable boy or whatever third party was there with the bag.
Well, I do have this, except it appears to be an old wound. I don't. None of you remember healing me, I assume? It's odd that it would still hurt.
Can I get a perception check from everybody?
Oh. Just lost Din on the Skype call.
She
did.
did say in the chat in Roll20, if this person has lost as much blood as there was in the stables, they should be super easy to find.
True, I guess. Tabern, a small, wiry-looking youth exits the back of the inn while you guys are all deep in conversation. And as he does, he glances over at you guys. Can I get a insight check from you, please?
Yeah.
He smirks in your direction. It's out of place because he looks like a stable boy or something, and they don't typically smirk at adventurers.
Of course, the one person that notices is the one person that wouldn't recognize him.
Yep.
Hey, you. What kind of look is that all about? As I step towards him.
He says, nothing, mister. I just thought it was weird that you were standing behind the stables. And now all of the party notice the stable boy standing there.
Do I recognize him?
Yeah, it's the stable boy from when you first rode into town.
Right, but does Lord Silverstar
Lord
recognize
Silverstar
him?
doesn't remember riding into town.
Oh, right, Lord Silverstar. No, you don't recognize him.
Lad,
But
did you sleep in the inn last night?
I sleep in the inn every night.
Are you the stable boy?
Were you watching the stables by any chance?
Not while I was sleeping. And yeah, I'm the stable. Don't you remember me?
Of course.
You're the wizard.
The wizard.
Yes. Are you the only stable boy?
Well, yeah. It's only a little stable.
Do you sleep with an ear to the stables in case something out there needs your attention in the night?
Well, if the horses get spooked, I hear them, but otherwise I sleep like a log.
I imagine the horses were spooked last night. Just, I have a hunch. Did you hear anything?
I didn't hear anything. Can I get an insight check from everybody, please? An insight check, please.
Oh, Harbeck, you're so insightful.
Occasionally.
Everybody's insightful. It is a bold-faced lie. A bold-faced lie. He is hiding something. Din, you can tell that he's hiding something.
Except Tabarin.
Lad,
No, even Tabern.
I need you to walk over here.
His back straightens and he goes from looking like a wiry boy. There was always something strange about him. Like, you all sort of sensed there was something a little bit off about him when you first met him. But as he straightens his back, he says, "I don't think so," and throws something at you. Can I get a reflex save from everybody, please?
Oh, throws that kind of thing. So not something I could catch?
No, unfortunately. You could try.
Okay. I'm gonna go... So I have the deflect missiles as a monk,
Yes.
is what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So if that reduces damage to 0, I can catch the thing.
I think... Well, I guess it depends on if the thing was actually thrown at you.
Right. That's why I'm asking
Yeah.
if deflect missiles applies
Yeah.
or if this is an If this is
It
like an
wasn't
area
from-
attack and I need a deck save, I can do that.
Yeah, it wasn't a thrown... Like, it wasn't thrown directly at you, but if you make your deck save, I will allow you to try and deflect and or catch it, depending on what you decide to do.
Okay. Do I have enough time to realize what it is before my monkish training takes over and I snatch the thing out of the air?
Not really, no.
Great! I catch it then, if that roll was good enough.
You have to make your deck save also, right?
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, deck save as well, yeah.
You have to jump in the way before you can catch it.
Right. There you go.
Basically. Okay, you manage to jump forward and catch it. And as you do, Bree turns away from whatever it is you're trying to catch. And you do manage to catch it. But as you catch it, it explodes into a brilliant, blinding flash and a puff of smoke in your hand, leaving a small burn, take 1 point of damage, on the palm of your hand, and leaving everybody in the party, except Brieg, completely blind. And Llama, even though you made your reflex save because you jumped forward to catch it,
Sure.
you are also completely blind.
Sure. I guess I caught it too hard. Did not.
Yeah, it's designed to
Ugh.
just...
Not a day with a hangover.
that's gonna suck.
Sorry, I
Oh,
haven't made
and,
a deck save yet because I misunderstood and didn't know I still needed to make the deck save if he had grabbed it out of the air.
Right.
My bad.
No, you also managed to raise your shield in front of your eyes before the brilliant blinding flash, and so you do also remained unblinded. Remained unblinded? Wow, I can't even speak English. Okay, as the brilliant blinding flash goes off and most of you are reduced to whimpering, blind, hungover.
Harbeck just sits down and throws up all his bacon. Like, he's just done. Today is not a day.
For Harbeck, no, not at all. Rogar and Brieg, however, because you managed to sort of turn away or raise your shield and avoid the majority of what's going on, you see the youth sprinting south into the forest.
How quickly do I get a turn?
You could get one action before he breaks the sort of tree cover and...
Can I get one before he is more than 30 feet away, or while he is within one move of being 30 feet away?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
then I'm gonna.
You gonna tell him
Say-
something funny?
No, it's not funny this time. But I do have some questions for my dear friend. He needs to make a wisdom save, I assume, to avoid being charmed.
Are you trying the charm thing?
Yeah.
And what is the DC on that saving throw?
It is 15.
Better than 8.
Yeah.
As he sprints away from you really, really quickly, he's extremely nimble. He all of a sudden stops, dead in his tracks, and turns to look at you. Says, "Hey, how you going, mate? How's the stab wound feeling?"
Considerably better. Do you have any more insight on the stab wound? Come. We have a few questions for you, if you don't mind, my friends and I.
Yeah, sure. As the bright, dazzling lights clear your eyes, you see the stable boy amicably walking towards the group.
Did you have any questions for our good friend, the stable boy, who we tipped so generously? Oh, I don't remember that.
Lad, go look in the stables and explain the puddle. No,
I don't
not
have to
this
look at
puddle. The one in the stable.
I don't have to look in the stables to know what happened. I was there.
Well, please do explain. Does it have something to do with the fresh scar on my back?
Yeah, I stabbed you.
Right. For some reason I don't recall. Could you explain how the rest of the evening turned out?
Sure, that's not a problem at all. So my superior instructed me to lure you down into the inn, okay, into the stables, and find out why you were looking for Elder Varen. We're here to protect him. We're here to try and keep him safe and free him from the fate that he's suffered. But when I tried to speak to you, I put a bag on your head, and you kept saying, I don't like this, I don't like this, and then you sort of blacked out. The next thing I know, you're free from your bonds. I don't know how you did that. I'm a expert knot tire, but you managed to free yourself, and you came at me with a pair of daggers. Look, it was blind luck. I managed to stab you and cast a befuddle spell on you very quickly. I got really lucky, and I'm lucky to be alive. And then when I saw you lying on the ground, befuddled and bleeding, I couldn't let you die. I mean, it would alert suspicion amongst your friends, obviously. Like, you guys would be surprised if your gnomish friend here was, found bleeding and dead in the stables, and I couldn't just dispose of the corpse. It'd draw too much attention, so I called down my superior and got them to resurrect you, and so you're alive and you're healed and everything's fine.
I wouldn't have been surprised.
Well, that was very thoughtful of you, bringing me back from the dead and all. So
it was a purely selfish act. Like, we can't have our cover blown. It's important that we maintain our secrecy.
Yes, makes perfect sense. Now, by your superior, do you mean the mistress of the inn?
Yeah. Well, you haven't even begun to grasp, who she is.
Well, shed some light, if you don't mind. Who is she?
Oh, she's a I don't know if I can share those secrets with you. I mean, we're great friends and all, but this is like secret order, like structural stuff. I can't go into details. Just suffice to say, she's an incredibly important and powerful person.
Right, capable of resurrecting me, apparently.
Yeah. That's child's play to her. She could.
That's quite impressive. And you say you're here to protect Elder Varen?
Yeah. Well, look. See, I can tell you this. All right. I'll let you know this. Basically, Varen's a really important person, and he's gone missing. Right. So we've infiltrated. Our order has infiltrated this town, and we're going to try and recover him because he's extremely important, and he has some friends in very high places, you could say, and he winks knowingly. But we've yet to be able to locate him. So, when strangers came to town asking about Varen, one of the most well-respected men of this town who has gone missing and is raising their voices, we didn't want to, potentially spook off his captor or killer or whatever it might be that
Do you have something of his? Because we have a wolf.
Mundane means of tracking him have failed. Trust us, we've tried that.
Just out of curiosity, changing subjects entirely, do you happen to have any tattoos?
Any tattoos?
Tattoos, yeah.
No.
And you're not a lizard people.
A what? You know about... Oh. Okay. Well, that changes things a little bit.
For the good or for the... I mean, is that going to be a strain on our friendship?
No, not at all. I think you're good people. I'm just going to go inside and I'm going to chat to my superior and let her know that you guys are, maybe we can make use of you.
Perhaps.
And he goes to wander off.
I'll catch a pant leg as he walks past my seated position. Lad, wait a moment.
But I really should report this to my superior.
I just want to know what it is you're going to report.
That I've discovered that the people that came to town asking about Varen are not the people that we are trying to hunt, and we might be able to make use of them.
Great. We were just hoping he could do a bit of translation work for us. If that helps to convince. Go ahead, lad.
Are you just going to let him walk away?
I'm pretty comfortable, I think, with what he's doing. Do I need to roll an insight check to decide if I should let go?
You can all roll insight checks if you want to try and determine his motives. Sure.
Well, he's charmed, right? Like,
He's charmed, which means he's friendly towards the party.
If his story is correct, and, like, we need Elder Varen for something completely unrelated to whatever's going on here. So, like, if he goes and tells that truth, I'm, like, really comfortable with that.
Yeah, I'm concerned that he may not be being super honest about their connection with Elder Varen. Like, we're trying to protect him. I'm not sure how much I believe that. But I
Maybe
did
we
get an
should.
18 on my insight.
But if they're not our enemies anymore, that's at least a win. A little bit of a win.
A small win.
I'm a little bit
I'm starting
concerned that we don't have a choice because it feels like most of our party is pretty aware of the power difference between us and somebody who can just resurrect somebody.
Right.
Yeah,
Saying,
it's-
like, I don't really
Just-
know.
Yeah, we're not going to be picking a fight with this lady. That would be a terrible plan.
But
Well-
maybe we should show her the book.
Unless one of you convinces me otherwise, very
And the scrolls.
promptly, I'm about to let go of this leg. You just heard me tell him, go along then. And my hand is reacting slowly because signals aren't getting downwind through the hangover. So, you have a moment, but I'm about to let go.
Well,
As
we
far
got
as
some-
everybody can tell, by the way, from insight checks, he's telling the truth.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I think there's a good chance that we can, in fact, work with your mistress.
Great.
If I-
I'll just go let her know.
This would be, I think, a good moment to cut for YouTube.
Yeah, makes
Okay.
perfect